race becomes first and foremost every game?
I don't think so. I think we have probably, whether we have done it consciously or subconsciously, we probably think about the league race too much. We probably just need to get better, and you know, the streak is always thrown at us, and although we don't talk about the streak, I know that's kind of the elephant in the room, so to speak, at least from what I've been told, and we need to get away from that and just concentrate on just playing a game at a time.
Can it be maybe a distraction where you do focus on it a little bit too much because it's been going on so long?
Yeah, I guess it could be, but you know, you could make a lot of things out to be positive or negative, and the reality is that we just haven't played as well of late. The Baylor game, after watching the tape, you know, we got off to a bad start offensively, but still, you know, if we finish the last 5 minutes of the first half right, we basically play them even, and then you know, work to get it to 2 several times. And God, could anything more go wrong in a day? Getting guys injured in warm-ups to you know, basically dunking the ball for the other team, and I mean, whatever else would be. I mean, so there, and to have, you know, your 3 key shooters other than you know, Devontae obviously go 2 and 19 from 3. So we just didn't play very well. But it wasn't, you know, after watching the tape, it wasn't from lack of try or anything like that. We just weren't very good, and playing out of foul trouble too didn't help. But we just need to go to Ames and play the fresh mind and let it ride.
How difficult is the dilemma that you as a coach are facing? You talked the other day about the chemistry not being where it's at, and then also being tired of starting guys that, you know, so you're kind of tinkering with the lineup still.
Yeah.
Is that putting you in a tough spot?
Yeah, tinkering is probably not the right word. I don't think we've tinkered at all. I think it's more been a situation where we made some decisions, do some things just based on, you know, effort in practice or whatnot. I know what's best for our team. What's best for our team to have our 5 best players out there playing the vast majority of the minutes. So that's what's best for our team. But you know, it just hasn't played out that way in league play consistently. So hopefully we'll get together. You know, I'm taking the approach, which I can be quite negative at times, but I don't need to be with this team. The approach that has been taken as far as keep stressing things that we know that wins over time and the culture and those sorts of things. We need to keep doing that. We don't need to back off of that at all. But we also need to realize that they're operating under some duress, and you know, everybody goes through personal things, but when you only have 5 guys or whatever that are scoring the points for you, it's a little bit different than when you have 8 or 9. And so we just need to get those 5 guys, in my opinion, our primary scorers, back to being confident and playing well again.
When you talked about chemistry the other day, was that more an off-court thing or on-court thing, or is there really a distinction between?
No, I wasn't talking off the court at all. No, I was talking on the court strictly. I think that we've shown times where we look like we're a team that has tremendous chemistry, and then we've shown times we look like a team that we don't. But no, it had nothing to do with off the court stuff.
Coach, obviously, Iowa State. Go ahead.
When's the last time you coached a team with these kind of numbers? I mean, would you have to go back to ORU when you didn't have a lot of players a lot of players you could turn to?
No, I don't think so at all. We can go to 2012. We played 7 guys total. And really, the 7th only got in if there was foul problems. We went to the national championship game. But the other 5 guys were, you know, you had a 4th-year junior, a 3rd-year junior that was National Player of the Year candidate, a 4th-year senior, a 3rd-year junior, and a 4th-year junior. I mean, so it's a little bit different, you know, with that. But we were probably a little tougher with that group than this group is. But you know, the thing, you look around college basketball, guys, we're not the only ones that have been up and down. It's a joke out there right now. I mean, hey, people are counting Michigan State out, and what are they, number 2 in the country now? And then you know, there's other teams, and not calling anybody out, that's going through the same stuff that we have, that from a talent standpoint would be quite a bit maybe above this level, at least from an NBA prospect type deal. So our guys, we got good enough players, but we don't have good enough players to not be good and win in this league. And, you know, look at our league. The fourth place teams are 6-6, and third place team is 7-5. And I mean, good gracious, it's every win is a bonus, and home or away. We've still got the vast majority of things in front of us, but what we've done, we put ourselves in a situation where you know, we probably have as tough a schedule left as anybody in the league. So if we're going to do this, we got to do it the hard way, but it'll be more when it gets done if we're able to do it.
I know you're focused on Iowa State, and I know the players are totally focused on Iowa State, but can you not help but look at Tech and see what they're doing? And I think everybody thought that was a fluke what they did here.
No. Oh, no. When you, I don't know what the players do, but we study the league all the time. So does it surprise me? No, it doesn't. When I saw them play against us, even though we were awful, I saw a team that was together and was deep and balanced and tough and so athletic, and they're really well coached. I mean, Chris has done a fabulous job. So what they're doing, no, it doesn't surprise me at all. They're the obvious favorite to win our league, which they should be. They got a game lead, but they're also the one team in our league. If you really look at our league, everybody else is puttering around. I mean, we've been good at times, and we haven't been good at times. And OU's been good at times, and West Virginia's been good at times, and Texas has been really good at times, and K-State's been good at times. But all those teams have also not been very good at times. But Tech is the one team. You take away maybe their game at Iowa State, and I'm thinking without studying this. You know, they of their 12 league games, they've probably been pretty good in about 11 of them. So they've been by far the most consistent.
Iowa State, young talent, how have you seen them improve since the beginning of the year?
Well, you know, they started out slow, but you look at their team, and you could say, well, yeah, they lost their first 2 games, but also then they ran off about 9 or 10 in a row, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 11. I can't remember. And then in league play, they got off to a slow start, but I could be wrong. 2 overtime losses in their first 3 losses or something like that, and then they come here to play us, and you know, it's a 1-possession game under 2 minutes or whatever. So they were right there to win that game. So they're better, and of course they've got a terrific, not a good, a terrific freshman that's blown up and averages 17 in the league, and Jackson's had a really good year, and you know, Laird, to me, you know, anytime a freshman gets 17 rebounds in a game, you know, that's impressive, especially against OU. So, and I think that's what he had. So they've got a lot of nice pieces, and Steve's a really good coach, and they run some clever stuff. And so we'll have to be very, very sharp on both ends.
Earlier this season, you talked about Udoka, you know, having to understand that the 2 fouls wasn't foul trouble. It's been a month.
In the second half.
Yeah, right. What's the thought process or the mindset now that he has to take to kind of avoid some of those fouls that he's been getting?
You know, I watched the game, and the first one, you know, I mean, hey, we've gotten some calls too. So I'm not saying it was, but we haven't benefited from some whistles. But that was one of the biggest flops I've ever seen. I mean, the guy fell down a full second after supposedly there was contact, but the whole deal, everybody knows that he's going to lead with his left shoulder when he's on the left block, and so I mean, he's got to be smarter than that to do that. But his second foul was a loose ball foul, no one's fault. Somebody does, the rebound goes through Speed's hands. If Speed rebounds the ball, it never happens, but it didn't. And the one that disappointed me to start the second half, his third one, I thought was a really bad foul. I mean, he just ran and ran right up a guy's back, which was obvious, easy call. So, and I'm not saying they were bad calls. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying just a little bit unfortunate in that particular game. And then you guys can see what a drop-off there is, because, you know, attacking the zone when you have no inside presence in there makes it a little bit more difficult. So we need him in the game the vast majority of the minutes.
Marcus Garrett has shown times where he can play great defense and drive to the hoop and even make the 3. Just talk about him, where he's at, and maybe even where that ceiling could be.
Well, ceiling, I think, you know, he's always going to be a good player, but for him to really have a high ceiling, he's got to get more consistent shooting the ball. There's no question about that. And that's something that obviously we'll address and he'll address. And I think he has potential to become a good shooter, kind of like LeGerald. LeGerald wasn't a great shooter as a freshman, and then he worked at it so much he became a good shooter. But everything else, as far as talent, IQ, understanding the game and feeling the game, he's got a chance to be a Travis Relaford type guy for us.
Is your starting lineup dependent on today?
Maybe. I hadn't really decided yet. I know that I know what we need to do to win, at least in my opinion. Now, how do we get that? I really feel like LeGerald's attitude, in my opinion, has been very good. It's just he hasn't had he didn't make shots, and sometimes when you don't make shots, it doesn't look like you play as well. Or when you tip in a ball for the other team, or you get a rebound, you throw it out of bounds. But it's a good pass. Javonte just happened to turn his head at the wrong time, so he just hasn't caught any breaks. But I feel like he's on an uptick, and we'll see how today goes.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Is Fee okay?
Yeah, she's fine. She's fine. We did X-rays and stuff when he got back, and there was absolutely no structural damage. But what happens is, I guess, when you get hit in the eye, you can't stop the eye from watering. And he said, Coach, every time I ran and bounced, it was blurry the whole time, and it messed with his head. Now he's got to be tougher to play through that, but I would think that would probably mess with anybody that bases their game on being a marksman. It probably was a little blurry shooting the ball.
Fan base gets scared to death. They look up 6 games to go, and you guys are behind.
Who does?
The fan base, the fans and stuff. The players get that sense, so they get a sense that, hey, it's time.
Oh, yeah. But hey, whether our fans do that or not, hey, welcome to the real world. I mean, good guy. Hey, Duke feels the same way. North Carolina feels the same way. That's life. For 13 years, this is what's unbelievable to me with our fan base, because I love them and they're great. But for 13 years, we've got a T-shirt whenever we win the league. I mean, it was that big a deal. We get a T-shirt, and now that we're a game behind, it's the heavens are falling because we're a game behind, and I certainly understand that, and I get that, and we deserve to be a game behind because we haven't played well enough to be better. But I do believe that, and when I say we get a T-shirt, I'm talking about we get more than a T-shirt. But basically, on that game night, we get a T-shirt, and if we're lucky, we have enough to give to our family. One of those type of things. So our fan base, if this is how they're feeling, then they should understand that they should appreciate all the emotions fans should have to go through. Because it's going to be a struggle this year, but it doesn't mean it's over. But it's definitely going to be a struggle, and we probably need them more than we ever have needed them, and they got to rally around that as well.
Do you like the sneak peek, the bracket? Does that matter?
You know what? I saw something that we were a 2 seed in Purdue's region.
Right.
I don't even know when that was done.
Yes.
So that was done on a Sunday after we lose to Baylor.
Correct.
So, and from a fan base standpoint, that would be awful to be a 2 seed. Now, from my standpoint, I don't think we deserve that. I don't. I think that we need to play well from this point forward to be in that conversation, and we haven't done that yet. But it is one of those things that there's only one team in our league right now happy, and that's Tech. Nobody else is happy. Maybe Oklahoma State, they're playing great right now. Maybe Iowa State, maybe Baylor, because they've won 3 in a row. So there's some teams on an uptick, but I don't think that anybody's ecstatic on where their team is at this point in time, with the exception of, obviously, the Red Raiders.